New York, stand up. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Leel Show. It's going down, just so you know. Say it ain't so. We are back for another one, and it's time to have some fun. Cause I'm your boy, the Real Lil. And it's going down because tonight is game 2 of the NBA finals. Okay. It's going down. It might be a funeral or it might be a bounce back. We'll see. We'll find out. Because right now we figure out who is really made out of that stuff, who is made from a cloth. Okay. And on God, we're going to give you a nice show. Because when I tell you we got to stack one, we got to stack one. I got my guy Lee in the building. And before I introduce him, I'm going to talk to you about what we got on the menu today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the finals. Knicks still game 1. We're going to talk about a little bit about that game and look forward to tonight and what's going to happen. What we predict is going to happen tonight. We're going to release it to the people, and we're going to talk about some of the big trades in the NFL that went down this week. Listen, man, I let all the shows and podcasts do their thing. Now, I mean, yeah, go ahead, talk. You know, I make this money and all that, but guess what? Now it's my mic. All right, give me the mic and let me talk about what's going down, okay? Because guess what? You ain't heard it first if you ain't hear it from the Real Lil and Lee. So I got my guy Lee here. I'm ready. I'm amped up. This is the NBA Finals. I'm a New York Knickerbocker, okay? Lee, how you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Good. Great game the other night, man. This should be a great one tonight. A lot of things going on in sports, man. Everything's starting to interconnect, intertwine. Got the NFL, OTAs and stuff going on, trades galore. Lot going on, Leel. And what better way to talk than talk on the Real Leel Show? And let's talk about it.
And we might as well talk about it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel once more because we got some new content coming your way. We are pushing these shows out like a mother pushing out babies, okay? It's going down. Now, the question that we're going to start off with is our biggest takeaways from game 1, all right? Which is the NBA Finals. Who is the biggest X factor for the Knicks going forward as well? But let's start off with our recap of the game. Lee, the mic is yours.
Yeah, man, it was a good game. It was a good game, back and forth. The Spurs, they're young, Leo, and they don't know when to throttle down and how to run offense to score to stop a run. They went up 14. They was cruising, and then they set Wemby out. And then they just fell apart. They was just jacking up shots. The Knicks got their rhythm, and then you turn it over to the Brunson burner at the end of the game, and he does what he do. And so the game for me was entertaining first and foremost. Brunson almost getting injured twice. Cat locking up Wemby, right? And then the really ineptitude play of De'Aaron Fox. I mean, he was missing shots my son could make at the basket. So, those things is what I take from it. The Spurs and Wemby. Wemby has to understand one thing, Leo. You exert so much energy out there dribbling the basketball outside of the three-point line, trying to cross people over and drive all the way to the basket. You exert so much energy, and then you have to play on defense that it wore him down. Wemby, you're 7'5". I'm not saying Wemby has to get the ball, Lil, and back a player down. But certainly at 7'5", you don't have a turnaround jumper. You don't have an over-the-shoulder jumper in the paint. There's no way that Karl Anthony Towns should be guarding, locking up Wemby if Wemby uses his greatest strength, which is his 7'5" height and 9-foot wingspan. He doesn't use it. It allows Cat to D him up. Terrible shooting night for Wemby. And it's just not the formula for victory for the San Antonio Spurs. So I like to see Dylan Harper more. The coach made a critical mistake and not paying Dylan Harper in the second half. And now the Spurs have their back up against the wall. Let's see what they can do. And look, the X factor for me for the Knicks is always going to be Brunson. But it's also Mike Brown's coaching, because Brown is out coaching the San Antonio coach right now. And it shows. And if he keeps it up, it might be an early exit for the Spurs.
Look, man, I would say this. My biggest takeaway is that we are continuing to prove that it's our year because when you go through the motions, right, it was a horrible game. Brunson hurt himself a couple times in the game, had a horrible first half, but then guess what? The fourth quarter, as we see here, he's making shots that's unguardable. I mean, that was perfect defense. How do you stop that? Right? That's Captain Clutch right there. Look at the footwork. I mean, he has the best footwork in the game. He knows how to create his angles, and he just knows how to score and take over the
That
game.
was a beautiful shot and move right there, Leel. That was beautiful.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you stop that? But this is the problem I have, and I'm gonna go a little bit rogue here before I come back because I want to say what's on my mind, right? Obviously, we want to talk about the game, and I got a lot of thoughts about the game. It was a very good game, even though you can make the case that both teams played horrible. Still was a close, competitive game.
It was very competitive. It's it was very competitive.
It was competitive,
Absolutely.
more so than actually good.
Yeah.
But I would say this: we put all this emphasis and market when it comes to players with different physical attributes, right? What we deem to be the best elite physical traits. Obviously, Wemby 7'5" could obviously impact the paint on every single possession. Obviously, has his skills where he can knock down shots from behind the arc. Also, when used, he can have a post-up game as well where he could punish smaller defenders. And we put that to a high standard. But my question is it physical attributes that only matter? Because what Jalen Brunson is doing, what he is doing in the fourth quarter specifically, needs to be talked about more. And that's why a lot of people everything is going over their heads. They waiting for the Knicks to crash because they don't realize that success comes in all shapes and forms. Tom Brady is the GOAT in the National Football League. Could he throw the football the furthest? No. But he had the elite traits and he was Captain Clutch. Those little nuances matter on stage like this because you can have all the physical attributes. That don't mean that you're ready for the moment. That doesn't mean that you're ready to take over the game in the fourth quarter when your teammates need you to do so. So I just want to throw that nugget out there. But as we come back,
well said.
As we come back to the game right now, I mean, look, we played horrible and we still found a way to win. Why? Because we are made from that cloth. That's why I said in the intro, we're going to find out who's made from that cloth, and we're going to find out a lot more about the Spurs tonight because we came out, we was horrible. OG and Josh Hart combined for 12 points. Jalen Brunson was hurt a couple times. He struggled with his shot throughout the whole entire first half. OG Anunoby looked like he was playing in quicksand in the first half. But then guess what? In the fourth quarter, OG knocked down a couple timely three-point shots, cold-butted. Jalen Brunson made some circus shots, and he did what he did. And we found a way to win the basketball game. And
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. And I agree with you. Do you think that in that third quarter, when San Antonio was up 14 points and the Knicks came storming back before the end of that quarter, to me, that whole stretch was the defining moment in that game. And that's where I saw Mike Brown and the Knicks whoop both the Spurs team and whoop the coach from San Antonio and out-coached him. What are your thoughts about that run? Because the Knicks weren't playing well. And is that a defining mark for you in the game of where you saw this table turn for the Knicks?
Yeah,
to give them an opportunity to win the game.
It was because prior to that point, Josh Hart was in foul trouble too. So he had about 3 fouls. He was in foul trouble, right? Now, you look at the adjustments that were made. Firstly, give Karl Anthony Towns credit because he kept this in the game. He was the MVP of that game. He attacked the Spurs off the bounce. He attacked Wemby a couple times. He was able to seek contact. He played like a true big man. Okay? And I know we question him. Charles Barkley came out and said that he's not good at basketball. That's like telling me that I'm not good at podcasting. Those are horrible remarks right there. Okay? And Cat was the best player on the floor in game one on both sides. His defense was impeccable as well. The fact that he's guarding Wemby at times in the game and he wasn't in foul trouble, yeah, you could say, yeah, sure, maybe you want to haunt Cat more, but Cat defense has improved, and that has been the case these playoffs. So we got to give him a lot of credit. But as far as the adjustments that Mike Brown made, he went to a smaller lineup. He had Shaman out there. He had Brunson out there. He had McBride out there and Towns out there. That was a lineup that he didn't even experiment with all season. And he was able to do so and have the risk to do so because guess what? He's flexible. This is why he's the coach. This is why we fired Tom Thibodeau. We didn't fire Tom Thibodeau because he deserved to get fired. We fired Tom Thibodeau because we wanted more. We wanted more flexibility. We wanted a collaborator. And that's exactly what Mike Brown is. And he made that adjustment going smaller that gave us more spacing. And we was able to, Jalen was able to find his shot in the second half. And our guys was able to play better. So again, it's those tactical adjustments that allowed us to come back and not only come back, but win this game.
Yeah. For me, if I'm the coach of the San Antonio Spurs and I'm up 14 with the ball, by the way, they were up 14 with the ball, ability to go up 16. I don't care if I have to use 2 back-to-back timeouts, Leel. I'm stopping that run. You understand what I'm saying? They allowed the Knicks to get in a free flow, Shamet running around shooting threes. Oh, they allowed the Knicks to continue through that run, and a great coach, a coach that's in the NBA Finals, has to understand you call timeout, you make adjustments to their lineup to match up with them because they were running free and shooting open threes. That's how they got back in the game, and he allowed that. That, to me, the Johnson guy has to do a better job on the sideline, and then not playing Dylan Harper was criminal down the stretch. That's criminal. You know, that you should be lying. That's criminal. So a lot to be desired for the entire Spurs effort. And we'll see what they have. I know one thing. If De'Aaron Fox De'Aaron Fox in game 7 played big, had a very good game for the Spurs. But if he's struggling in the first quarter, I'll put his butt on the bench and you'll see Dylan Harper get more minutes for the rest of the game.
De'Aaron Fox was trash in game 1. With all due respect to De'Aaron Fox. And we'll talk about that in some of the adjustments that the Spurs can make in game 2. I would like to say this about Josh Hart. To me, he's an X factor. I know you say it's Mike Brown, and obviously, there are a lot of critical pieces here, right? But if we had to limit it to one, right? One X factor and come up with reasons why they are. Because you can make a case Cat, you can make a case Mike Brown. But I think Mike Brown has shown that he's willing to make adjustments. He's been doing so all playoffs long. So to me, that's a given, right? Karl Anthony Towns, what he's been doing lately is a given. I'm not expecting him to revert back to the old Cat because he would have done so already. It's a given. It's Josh Hart to me because for me, the hustle plays matter in these moments. The hustle plays. I understand it's cliche. I understand it sounds a little bit black and white, but it's the hustle plays that give you second chance opportunities. It's the hustle plays that get you in a rhythm. It's the hustle plays that keep you on the floor. And Josh Hart didn't even take a shot in the second half, yet he was still able to impact the game significantly. He was the second most impactful player in game 1 without even scoring the basketball. Yep. So the Spurs are going to give him opportunities to knock down wide open shots. They're going to disrespect him. But the question is, can Hart make them pay? Yeah, we'll take the rebounds. Gave us 15. Big rebounds, crucial rebounds, right? He gave us some steals, some blocks. I'm confident that he's going to be able to get us that stat line pretty much every single game. Maybe not 15 rebounds, but you know what I mean. But can he knock down shots? Because Cleveland did that too. They allowed him in, I think it was game 2 or 3. They gave him mad open shots. He missed a couple. Then in the second half, he knocked down 5, 6 of those joints, and he became the best player in that series, in that game rather. So Josh Hart to me is always going to be the factor because they're going to plant Wemby they're going to park him in the lane. They're going to park him in the paint area. So if he's knocking down shots, then Wemby obviously can't stay there. So to me, he's going to be impactful because remember when we were down by 14 or whatever it was Josh Hart who was in foul trouble too. He had 3 fouls prior to that. So to me the X factor is Josh Hart. Now, Lee,
he's a glue guy. He's a hustle guy, glue guy.
Now, let's talk about game 2, right? Because obviously that's tonight.
Yeah.
Do we expect the Spurs to bounce back and win game 2? Lee, the mic is yours.
I do. I think they will. If they don't, the series is over. But I expect them to win game 2. Look, Wemby will be a little more And I don't know why he doesn't do this consistently, but he'll be a little bit more around the basket. You'll see tonight, as opposed to out on the court trying to be a point center. You don't need that from him. And so I think there'll be a concerted effort. And I think they'll play Dylan Harper more. Harper is a mismatch. He's quick. He's physical. He got the left hand looking like Manu Ginobili out there, posting up, being physical. You need more of that. The Kelvin Johnson guy, you can't expect him, sixth man of the year, to be have a disappearing act again tonight, Leel. So I just think the Spurs will play harder. They'll win game 2. My deal is this. In the summertime, I want Wemby to spend some time with Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant posts you up on the elbow, Leo, all he does is take 2 dribbles, fade away, and shoot over either shoulder. Why can't Wemby do that? At 7'5", he's a skilled big guy. If he did that, he would be dominant. The Spurs will never win big with Wemby playing out on the court the way he does. Because, Leo, he's not a knockdown drag shooter. He can hit him, but he's not a knockdown shooter, and he stays on the perimeter too much. So tonight, if the coaching matters, if Miss Johnson has him in the post more, I think you'll see a better effort from San Antonio. And then, look, you got to quit turning the ball over if you're San Antonio. You turn the ball over. Wemby dribbled one off his foot. I mean, it's just as far as taking care of the basketball, that hurts them. I look for them to take care of the basketball a little better tonight. And I do think, Knicks are playing with the house money. They can play open and free tonight, Leo.
Yeah.
But I think the urgency from the Spurs will hit them the game tonight, and I look for the Spurs to win.
My thing here is De'Aaron Fox came out on Thursday, and he spoke to reporters, and he basically laid out the game plan for the Knicks unequivocally, right? He said that we are going to force the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands. All right, cool, right? Sure. Cleveland tried that in game 2. Similar situation. Game 1, Cleveland, the Knicks came out sloggy. They obviously took 3 quarters to really find their rhythm. They were down by 22 with 7 minutes left to go in the game. Brunson went on this hell of a run in the 4th quarter, ended up with 38 points. And Cleveland said the same thing. We are going to force the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands in game 2. Guess what? The rest of the guys brought us home. Guess what? OG Anunoby was knocking down shots. Mikal Bridges was knocking down shots. Shamet, damn it, was knocking out shots, okay? I call him Laundry Matt Shamet, damn it, okay? He was knocking down shots. All right, and how much assists Brunson had in that game? 14 assists. He answered the bell. So, okay, yeah, sure. You want Brunson to not beat you, right? Cool. Force the ball out of his hands. He knows how to make the play. He doesn't get credit for being a playmaker. He has been being a playmaker this entire playoffs. We just look at him as somebody that could dribble, and obviously get to his sweet spot with his elite footwork and create those angles and score the basketball. But he has shown us that he has more tools in his back. He's willing to make the pass to the open teammates. And we have more capable knockdown shooters that can knock down shots. So to be honest with you, I don't see a world where the Spurs win this series. And it's not the delusion in me. Okay, it's not. I had a 8-hour sleep last night. Okay, my brain is fully functioned. All right, it's not delusion over here. I believe we are the better team. I believe no matter how you try to slice it and dice it, we just the better team. Now, sure, the Spurs can make adjustments on their end to try to, win this game tonight, which they're at home. Right? They should come out with a level of energy. Obviously, it's a must-win game. I think they need to get rid of, but bench De'Aaron Fox for Dylan Harper. Fox was 1 for 10. He was 1 for 10 last night from the 3-point line. And obviously, we know that most of his stuff is going to be at the rim. He has that motor, but that motor with that injury hasn't been there. He doesn't have the same explosion. So now, Dylan Harper, you saw his energy. He was one of the reasons why they went on that run. Him and Julian Champagny was knocking down, a couple threes. So to me, I get it. Fox started the whole year and whatnot, but Dylan Harper got to see the action. You got to ride the hot hand. And if you want to make another adjustment, maybe attack Jalen Brunson more, maybe harm him a little bit more, involve him in a little bit more actions, try to get him in foul trouble. That's the only way you're going to be able to stop Brunson in this Knicks team, is by trying to stop the head of the snake. But it's not only about, sending all this attention and trying to double up on him, because guess what? He can make the extra pass. We are a very resourceful team, but it's about trying to eliminate him from the game, period. And how you do that from the offensive end, trying to involve him in more actions to get him in foul trouble.
Leel, you think, and look against Cleveland, Josh Hart was out of his mind shooting threes that closeout game. That's not who Josh Hart is, though. He's not a knockdown 3-point shooter. So
that's why he's the X factor for me. That's why, because
we're going to see. We're going to see, because they are going to take the ball out of Brunson's hands.
Yep.
They're going to force the other guys to do it. Mikal Bridges didn't actually shoot the ball well either. And so we're going to see, but I expect a much better defensive effort tonight by the Spurs. And we'll see just how bad. It's the defining game, as everybody wanted, to use a Denny Green reference. If you want to crown his ass, then crown him. Everybody wanted to crown Wemby, the greatest on planet Earth. He has unbelievable traits and skills. But Leel, these are the games. These are the games when you have to be the best player on the court. And if you that man, then you got to be the man tonight. It ain't about anybody else for the Spurs but Wemby. Let's not even sugarcoat this. You can say whatever you want to say, but he has to be the dominant factor that he was in for 4 games against the Thunder tonight, Leel. That's what he has to be. And we're going to see. This is what this is about.
This is the Wemby game. This is supposed to be the Wemby game right here.
This is the game. This is the Wemby game that's the tone setter for the series, right? Because if he plays like he played in game 1, you might get swept or you might get a gentleman's sweep. But if you come out and show you are who you say you are, then this series can extend, and it could be anybody's series, 6-7, as the kids say. It could be anybody's series after that. Because Brunson showed he the man. He showed it all year, and he backed it up once again. Now, Wemby, it's your time to put your stamp on this next game. It's your time to show that you're the man. We're going to see. And Leel, my last thing about Wemby. Why did they rest him so much? I mean, maybe he's 7'5" and it's just too much air up there, Leel, because we don't know shit. Maybe it's just too much air up there and you just get tired. But it's a 14-point lead. They're making a push and run. I don't give a shit what the score is. Women get back in the game to stop that run. You understand what I'm saying, Leel? These are the things that puzzle me when I think about San Antonio. And so, but I do expect them. This is the Wemby game. I expect them to win tonight. And if not, it'll be because Wemby didn't bring them home.
Hey, it's Wimbledon. Nah, I mean, this is the Wemby game. I agree, but guess what? The Knicks are going to win this game.
Yeah.
The Knicks are winning tonight. Listen, Lee, winning starts from the mental. Winning is a mentality. And the Knicks have shown that they are business as usual. When they won the Eastern Conference Finals, they didn't celebrate. They ain't pop no champagne. It was on to the next. Jalen Brunson is not doing no commercials for the finals, nothing. It's all about winning. And we shown that in the Atlanta series, especially in the Philly series, and in the Cleveland series, with similar situations, up 1-0, that, we got to go for the gusto. And we've won 7 straight word games for a reason, by double digits. All right, this is not no fluke. We got to stop it. Stop it, bruh. Stop it, people.
I don't think it's a fluke at all.
The East, people think it's a fluke because they're like, the Eastern Conference was weak and Cleveland is there no shot. No, these were good basketball teams.
You trounced teams, so I give the Knicks all the credit in the world.
And they were saying, the Thunder and the Spurs, that's the championship right there. No, it's not. It's not.
Leel, I'm gonna say
we're gonna win this game tonight, Lee. Mark my words.
If you win the game tonight and everything that you're saying is true, and I'm going to come on our next show and I'm going to tip my hat to you. But let me say this. The Spurs lost game 1 at home to Minnesota.
Yep.
and beat them in 6. Okay,
Mhm.
this game will tell us a lot about how this series is going to go.
Yep.
Even if the Knicks lose a close game, Leo, where the Spurs pulled it off in the last 32nd minute of the game, I still would take the Knicks. The Spurs have to come out and show a dominance tonight to let everybody know that this is going to be a long series and they can win. And so I'll be interested to see, again, how Wemby comes out, how the team's energy is, and how that so-called deep bench of the Spurs play. That's what I'm looking forward to tonight.
We'll see if they bounce back, because they bounced back against OKC. Every time OKC won a game, they won one until they won 2 straight to win the series. Tonight is going to be Wembledon, okay? And we're going to see if he's able to take over the game and get his team back in the series.
Sports, politics, conspiracy theories, we are here to give you our unique perspectives on things happening in the world. It's the one and only The Real Leel on The Real Leel Show.